Hello, everyone. Okay, we are going to start the webinar in about 5 minutes time. I just wanted to give people time to download Zoom just in case they hadn't got it. Perhaps get a cup of tea and so everyone's sort of, set up and ready to go. We've got quite a few people joining us tonight, which is great. So 6:05, we're going to start it. Thank you so much. Okay, I think we're good to go. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, Understanding the University Admissions Process for 2025. My name's Rosie McLennan, and I'm the Group School Liaison for University Centre Peterborough, which sits under Inspire Education Group, and I am delighted to be hosting this webinar. Joining us tonight from University Centre Peterborough is Liz Knight, our Academic Director, and Jemma Leggetter, our Customer Service and Student Finance Manager. This webinar aims to provide you with key updates on university admissions, important dates for your calendar and critical information for 2025 applications process. We welcome any questions you have. Please feel free to type them in the chat box at any time, and we'll address them at the end of the presentation. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Liz and Jemma. Thank you.
Lovely. Thanks for that introduction, Rosie. So I'm Jemma, so I'll give you a little bit of an introduction. So on the screen currently I've got our courses, but we're just going to move on past that. Oh. There we go. So just to give you a little bit of an introduction to the application process and where you are. So all the applications for full-time study come through UCAS. So UCAS is essentially the gatekeeper or portal organisation for when you're applying for university. It can make it seem a little bit more daunting or because you've got another system to use, but actually it's brilliant because it guides you through the process. They've got absolutely loads of guides available online. It also means if you're applying for multiple universities or multiple courses, you just put in one application, it follows the process through, and you're very well protected as well. So it is a really, really good system. So I'll just talk to you a little bit more about that. So it's also a website that can be used for searching for universities and courses, and all of them for full-time, like I said, go through this, and you need to register and apply using that. If you are looking at part-time study, however, you can apply directly to the university. So it's just worth knowing that if you are thinking, actually, no, I'm more looking for part-time study, we have applications available on our website and you just apply directly to the provider. And if you need assistance with that, just let us know and we can help you. So yeah, take into the next. So a bit more information on UCAS. If you are with a college or applying on your own, you can use UCAS. It's just a little bit different. So if you're currently at a college, you'll have a buzzword. Essentially, all you do is you put in this buzzword for your college. If you're not sure what it is, ask them. And it connects you to the college, which is really, really good, or sixth form, which means that they'll check your application before it then gets submitted. And it also means they'll fill out a few of the information for you. It is worth knowing as well that when you make an application through UCAS, it does cost an admin fee. So it is £28.50, and that gives you 5 choices. You don't have to use all 5, but you can use up to 5 as well. So that's useful to know. So there are different sections. So when you apply for your account on UCAS, it will ask you and it will take you through the different sections of your application. So the most important thing is to fill out everything as much detail as possible. Or if you get stuck, you get a bit confused, just reach out to the provider you're applying for. We'd be happy to help. So just to take you through a few sections. So the first bit will ask you about your personal details. So first name, surname, email address. The most important thing for this, if you are in college or sixth form or secondary or in a workplace, for example, don't use your college email, because often over summer, the schools do shut these down and you lose access. So it's just worth thinking about that now, because that can cause an issue. UCAS will be happy to step in and help you, but it just means that you might miss some really critical information being sent out. But of course, if you do forget and find yourself in an issue, reach out to us because we can always send it on to you. And then you add in any additional information. So for example, if you've got any specialist support needs, it's really important you put them in there. Because what we do as a provider, when that information comes to us, it means that we can make sure that you've got all the things that you need set you up to succeed at university. So it's really, really useful because some support plans can take a little bit of a while to put in place. So that's really, really good as well. And then you put in your course choices, so what courses you're applying for. If you're not sure, you can apply for more than one course too. Then you put in your employment and personal statement. So personal statement, if you're applying for September 25, that still applies. So there's lots of guidance out there, and it's the number one thing that stresses people out about applying for university. But the number one piece of advice I would give to you is universities, they're not necessarily looking for a full academic referenced essay. The key is to make sure it's personalised, make sure you've had multiple people having a look at it. Make sure if you're applying for history, don't put you've always wanted to do English. So just checking for simple things like that, because that's the sort of thing that can really, really have an impact. It does happen. We have had it, but just it's really stuff like that. Make sure other people have had a look at it for you. And UCAS has excellent support on personal statement. They have pages and pages on guidance, and also if you look at the provider you're applying for's website, they'll also have the key bits they're looking for. If you're applying for the year after, there are some changes coming to be aware of. So personal statements are changing to 3 questions, which is essentially similar to a personal statement, but it's guiding you through it. And it is quite a good change, actually. So that's something to be aware of as well. So just some key dates. So the first deadline, if you're applying for September, is the 31st of January, 25. Yeah, check the year there. Yeah, so it is 25, and that's what's known as the equal consideration deadline. And what that means is all applications received by any provider up to that date must all be given equal consideration, no matter where they applied up to that date. So we do get some people a little bit, if I get my application in sooner, does that mean that I'm more likely to get a place? If I leave it to the day before the 31st of January because I can't get my reference sorted through my college until by the 15th, is a question we often get. It's not a problem. So one of the great things about UCAS is there's certain rules in place to make sure that people are treated fairly. So every application that's received up to the 31st has to be treated the same. So it doesn't matter where. Of course, it is great to get your application in as soon as possible. I would recommend it. It's a massive weight off, massive stress off. And it also means it gives you time to make sure you can answer any questions with the provider. You get your offers a bit sooner. It's lovely. But again, you will still be treated fairly. Although past that date, that's not it. So some people get very worried. Maybe it's already February and they've decided, actually, I really do want to go to university, or I've applied for a uni really far away. I've changed my mind. I don't want to go there, or I want to do a different course. I've gone to an open day and actually I've fallen in love with a completely different course. That's okay. That's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the road. Obviously, the best thing to do is to get your application in sooner, keep your options open, get on the right track. But actually, there's a lot more opportunities out there for you. So UCAS Extra will open. And essentially, all that means is you get an extra choice. So if you've been rejected from everywhere you've applied to, or actually you've declined all of your offers because you've changed your mind, you can add an extra one. But you can also, if you haven't entered UCAS yet, continue to apply after the 31st of January. You are still able to do it. There's a lot of miscommunication around it. People get a bit worried, oh, I passed that deadline, that's too late for me. It's not. You can actually apply quite a long time after, but obviously you are much better off applying by the 31st of January, because after that date, some providers will begin to fill up courses, especially in very popular courses as well. Yeah. And if you do apply within the 31st of January cycle, you'll see that you will receive all of your offers by the 14th of May. So it's quite a big time frame, actually. And then you have from the 14th of May to the 4th of June to make your decision, to then go back to the providers and say, actually, that's where I want to go. Because once you get all of your decisions from your university, you can then pick which one is your firm choice. There's a bit more information on that if you need it come down the cycle. Yep, so this is extra. So I've spoken about this a lot already, but something to bear in mind is student finance. So student finance applications will open around March, April time. If you're not sure by this point actually what uni you're going to, you might not have your decision yet. Best thing to do, get in your application so you can change your place of study right up until September, actually. But if you're having issues with this or you get stuck, just reach out to us, because we do actually do lots of one-to-one support with students about getting their student finance ready for September, making sure they're all ready and lined up for when they start. So it's not something we'll go over at the moment just because it's not open yet. It's not open until March, April. But the key message is, if you are really concerned about it, get in contact. We're here to help you. And then I just wanted to do a little bit around clearing. So it might feel like a really long way off, but it's not quite as far as you think. So clearing does actually start on the 5th of July, and still it does feel like quite a way off, but it does come around quickly. So clearing is available not just to people that maybe you didn't receive any offers, but maybe you've decided, actually I have received offers, but I don't want to accept any of them, or I've now decided it's August and all my friends are going to uni. I wanted to get an apprenticeship, but actually it's not gone through. So an option with us might be a good option for you. Or you might have thought in August your kids are going to school in September, so it might be the perfect time for you to apply. It's not too late. There's still options for you, and that's clearing. So just, it's there for you. But if you've got any questions, reach out and we'd be happy to support you. So the main message here really, there's a lot of student support. So if you're thinking, oh, actually, I've got quite a few support needs, or I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with the transition, the best thing to do is actually visit the provider or speak to us. We have people that visit us over summer to make sure that they're equipped and make sure they're set up to succeed. So if you've got questions, just reach out for support. And same with finance. So a few things around what's new in sector. I'll pass over to you.
Hello, everybody. So Gemma's given us a lovely comprehensive tour then. So in a moment, we'll be asking if there are any questions in the chat so we can come back to you. So Gemma's spoken about some of the changes that are going to be impacting, so not for this September, but the following September, about personal statements. There are a couple of new developments, though, that will start to impact you from a majority of providers, I would imagine. Some of you may have heard in the news about what's called the inflationary fee increase. What that actually means is that universities are going to be increasing fees by about 3%. So to give you some kind of ballpark, that means if you're on a course that charges £9,250, so that's the maximum that a provider used to be able to charge, what you will see next year is an increase of about £285 for the year. So just to put it into some context for you. That will be introduced from 25-26, and when you take your loan out, that will be adjusted accordingly, so don't worry about it. There's still the same thresholds apply, so you only start paying finance back once you're earning in excess of around £25,000. If you never earn more than £25,000, you will not pay your tuition loan back. But don't be worried. What that means is it's just an inflationary increase. So that just means about 3% is going to be added to your fees.
Does also mean that maintenance is probably going to get a little increase as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah, your maintenance loans are also likely to increase. So again, that supports you in your living. So you might choose to study locally, stay at home, come to a provider like us, but it will still be the case that you'll have transport that you need to cover, parents or guardians, etc., or partners may be wanting you to contribute. So you will have the benefit of some increased maintenance as well. So a little bit more about what's new at UCP. So for the first time in a long time, we're also actually offering a January offer. So across courses such as business, our sports, computing, engineering and counselling, we will have a cohort starting in January. The advantage of that is that not only will you start your course sooner, particularly if you've got friends that have gone away to university, or maybe you're in work and decided this is the right time now for me to start to upskill and get ready for new challenges, new careers. If you did start in January, you'll be on the slightly lower fee. So you won't be hit by the inflationary fee increase because your first year of study will still in effect be 24-25. In terms of other developments, we've just recently had a whole new upgrade across all of our computing facilities. So that does mean that from September, we will be running some esports qualifications. So it's one of the biggest, fastest growing sectors in the country and across the world in terms of creative industries. And we will be offering those in a range of areas. So that will be production. So that's linked to sort of events management. It will be athlete support and development. A lot of work and investment is going in now to what we call preventative health, encouraging us to engage with new technology to improve our eating habits, fitness training, etc. We'll also have as well operations management. And again, that's a bit like event management, but also doing some of the big productions. We are aiming to be running annual events at the Crescit with sponsorship. We did open and launch our new facilities on the 27th of November. So we had a number of industry partners in, businesses, employers, who were reviewing facilities and also looking at our course offer just to work out how they could work more effectively with us. So that might be in terms of apprenticeships they would offer. It might be in terms of placements. It might be in terms of working with you as their future employees, as you're going to be sort of, you know, the next batch of graduates. So they start to shape their workforce. And finally, next year, we're also going to be running some degree apprenticeships. So we're going to be doing that in user experience. So for those of you who are not quite sure what that is, it means essentially all of us nowadays are engaging with different forms of systems. So whether you're looking at the NHS, whether you're looking at Anglian Water, all of them want to have the best systems they can to engage with us as either customers or patients. And the user experience degree apprenticeship is all about that, understanding how we as humans interact with systems so they can be more effective. We're also going to be launching a creative media professional. So that would be appropriate for anybody who wants to go into production, graphic design. Our serious and complex crime degree apprenticeship is also going to be launched. So we will be working alongside organisations like the police. We'll be working with insurance sector. So all of that is about the prevention of fraud. And then finally, we've got our digital marketing. So again, that's looking at people who want to go into marketing, and our course will be quite unique. And not only will it give you some of the business sense of marketing, but also how you can engage effectively across social media. And we need to remember that all of these apprenticeships, they have to be offered by an employer. So an employer needs to say, oh, I need a graduate apprentice to come in here. You typically spend a day a week on site with us learning, and then the rest of your learning is actually built into what your employer wants, and it's what we call on-the-job learning. And if you do study for a degree apprenticeship, of course, your fees are paid for by the employer's levy. You're not incurring any tuition fee.
Lovely. Well, that was a lot of information. So if anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask. You can either unmute or put it in the chat. Rosie, I'm hoping you can read out any questions because I'm not sure if I know how to see them.
Yeah, I can't see any questions at the moment. I did actually have one today, actually, that I was going to share with you, and that was what sort of help do they get after they finish their degree? Because some are really worried about work, and also asked what sort of partnerships we had and connections. And I kind of answered it, but not as well as you can right now. I know that.
Well, that's a really, really good question, really valid as well, as I'm sure everyone's worried about getting into work. Why am I doing this degree? Am I going to get somewhere with it? So what we do is we have a lot of links with employers for all of our degrees, and we make sure they are written at industry standards. So we work with employers to ensure that they're giving you the right skills to get into industry, because degree is great on its own, but it's also about those soft skills as well, about knowing how to work with leadership, knowing how to do interviews, job skills. So alongside within the university, we also have the UCP Futures team, which is our careers and employability service. So That will help you with looking for jobs, creating your CV, networking. We put on guest speaker events. We bring in professionals into the workplace. We have a lot of students who, for example, we had a journalism student who did an internship with the BBC and graduated and went straight into a role there. And that was actually a paid internship as well that they had alongside. We also encourage a lot of our students to do work within the university to boost their employability. So I have a few digital marketing students that are wanting to get a bit of experience. So I can actually pay them as part of a bursary scheme we have here, and they take some of our video content and they get a bit of experience that way as well. So we do a lot with our students to really bring their employability up, get them that experience, but we have a lot of contacts in industry. We can get them into placements as well.
And we also, I think the important thing to state is when you graduate from us, you come and have a lovely ceremony in the cathedral, and you all look like you're dressed like Harry Potter. That isn't the end. So for 15 months after your graduation, you can keep coming back to us. We'll support you with that CV writing. We will put you in touch with employers. We will also share information with you as well if we know there are vacancies coming up. So we're still here for you, is the message.
Yeah, we are, and we will support right into jobs. It doesn't mean you graduate and that's it, you finished. You form part of our alumni network. Like last year, we had a business student who got into a really high level graduate job, straight ready for their employment, and they still stay in contact with us, and they're hoping to come in and promote it to some of our students as well. So it's that continuing legacy too.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I have actually got some questions that are just coming through. For some reason, they're not coming up on my screen, so I'm just going to have to lean over to another laptop, but give me a second. Is there any additional financial support for students with an EHCP?
Yeah, so there are bursaries available. With an EHCP, your best option is DSA. So when you're applying for student finance, it will ask you about any additional needs, any disabilities you might have. It's really important you fill this in, because this will see if you qualify for any DSA, which is Disabled Students Allowance, and that's to enable you with your studies. So that's available too.
Okay, brilliant. And another one, are the degree apprenticeships undergraduate? And I've just lost it. Sorry, it's just gone off my screen. Yeah. No, that's just gone off my screen. Give me a second. Sorry. Okay. Are the degree apprenticeships undergraduate or postgraduate level, please?
The degree apprenticeships are undergraduate, so they are equivalent to studying a degree. So the way in which we're designing them, you'll have students who are studying the main degree, you'll have students on the degree apprenticeship that will be with them for 1 day a week. But yeah, it's level 4, 5 and 6 that are included within the degree apprenticeship.
Okay, fantastic, thank you. I had another one today, and that was saying that they know that the open evening is on the 15th of March, but it's very unlikely that they can make that, and also they would be more comfortable coming to have a little tour and perhaps meeting a tutor, and just being able to talk to finance a little bit, and just sort of come in and have a feel of the UCP. Is that possible?
Yeah, not a problem. We have a lot of people that do actually do this, because there is a little bit of a gap up in March, and we have people that they do want to come in, they want to see the facilities, they want to maybe have a meeting with the course leader, see what the course is like, talk through the modules and really understand if that's what's right for them, or maybe they might have some support needs they want to discuss as well before they start with us or before they apply. That's absolutely fine. That's something we can arrange. Best thing to do is, you can see the email on the screen. If you drop an email to our admissions team and just outline what course it is you're interested in, what it is that you're wanting to see, if you're wanting to speak to finance at the same time, if you're wanting help with your UCAS, just because then we can really tailor it for you. But yeah, that's something that we've done in the past and we do quite a lot actually.
Okay, I think that's I think you'll find that is going to be increasingly popular actually. It's just such a nice thing that you offer, and I think right the way throughout this webinar it definitely picks up that from the moment people come to UCP and whether they come on an open evening or whether they come on a tour, it is a very, very warm environment and very, very supportive. And I think that message came across well and truly tonight. So thank you so much. I don't think I've got any more, but that was just absolutely wonderful, really helpful presentation. Liz, Jemma, thank you so much.
We're always here to help. So if you want to use your phone, take a photo of that last screen that's up there and just drop us an email. Come through to UCP Admissions. You know, we are just here to help, just to give you a few pointers, guide you, reassure you. And no question when you're with us is too silly or too daft. You just need to come in, ask those queries. We're here to help, and we can give you really good, impartial advice just to steer you on the right course as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, hang on a sec. I've just got one more question that's come through. My son is special education needs, but has had little support with the personal statement, which is really stressing him out. How do I get support that he needs?
No worries. So we can actually help with the personal statement. If it's something around they want someone to sit down and just have a read of it or a bit of guidance, we can help. That's not a problem. We do give a bit of personal statement guidance as well. So drop us an email. We'd be happy to help facilitate that. That's not a problem.
Oh, that's fantastic and so reassuring. And I know that, there are times in schools, etc., where perhaps students could do with that more support and they don't realise, that they can get it with you, but that's amazing.
Yeah, there's two
Sorry.
options. They can go through the college, but we're also here to support. So even if maybe they want to speak directly to the provider, they want to hear it from us, we know they're coming from us. Sometimes it's the best thing actually, because we're the ones that view it, but we'll get someone else that's not viewing applications to assist them. And sometimes it just helps to have someone from that organisation to give it a glance over, steer you in the right direction. But normally we find people do get very stressed about personal statements. They do get very worried because they're very open-ended. It's really hard to know where to start.
Absolutely.
But one of the key things that I look at when I'm looking at applications is I look for the passion. I look that they've researched the course. Sometimes what's really nice to see actually is someone will include, I came to an open day or I met with a course leader and I've looked at the modules and they're perfect for me and aligned to my goals. It's stuff like that can be really strong actually, especially if you're a student where maybe you've not had the same access to doing clubs in school or you've not been able to do sport. Because I know one of the key things people do home is speak about Duke of Edinburgh, speak about football, which is absolutely excellent, but not everyone has the access to all of these things. Not everyone's been able to talk about these things. So talk about why you're doing the course, talk about, I did an online webinar and it really met some of what I was interested in, or I reached out to the admissions team and from that I know it's the right university for me and I want to study this course because I'm really passionate about it, because I watched the film and it sparked my interest, so I looked into it in like this way. We're looking for your passion, we're looking for the fact that you've researched the course, we're looking for the fact that you know it is what you want to do. We're not looking for references or weighty quotes or anything like that. But I'm hoping that just goes a little way to just give you a bit of direction if you are struggling, but just drop us an email. I'll be happy to help.
Yeah, and just one last question. Someone was asking, who's the best person to ask? And I'm guessing that basically, you've got a great admissions team, so various people will pick up, the admission emails. Okay.
Yeah, just it's a shared inbox, so it'll get allocated to the right person. Even if you think, actually, what I need to know about is finance, or what I need to know about is support, I'm not quite sure where to email, we will make sure it gets to the right place, and we have someone that's dedicated to making sure that your query is resolved and it's followed up on. So just drop it straight into admissions, we can guide it to the right place.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, I think that is now all the questions. Absolutely wonderful. And the webinar is recorded and will be available afterwards. And please do get in contact with UCP if you've got any questions, because I know we have a great team here and everybody will be really, really keen to help you. So thank you very much, everyone. Good night. Have a lovely evening.